Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jane Bellante. I love turning old books into art journals, but sometimes the cover just doesn't reflect the beauty I know I'll create inside. In today's video, I am transforming this plain cover of a 1933 German reader into a richly layered dimensional piece using Roycycled decoupage paper, soft gel, mesh style handmade papers, a really beautiful bird transfer, and a chipboard frame. Watch how it all comes together in a soulful mixed media composition that invites you to explore new ways of layering and storytelling. Starting with an old German reader. It was published in 1933 by the University of Chicago. I've been using it for an art journal, but I have never liked the cover. So I'm starting with a DIY in paint in vintage linen and just beginning to cover this up. I actually ended up doing 3 coats of the DIY in linen, and now I am taking this amazing paper from Roycycled and I am just kind of auditioning where I might want this to go. And you know, some of the tannins from the paper came through, and I don't mind because when I put this on, it'll look sort of like that peachy color behind, so it ends up being really, really pretty. So what I'm going to do is just audition. There's a number of different sizes of these beautiful roses on here, so I begin by cutting some out, and then you'll see me using the wet technique with a wet brush and water to cut each individual section out. So I don't want a full bleed of that peachy, you know, the red tannins came through with the vintage linen on the book, and I don't want a full bleed to come through because this paper is super beautiful. So I'm just painting the back of the paper itself with the vintage linen. You see I got the paper a little bit wet, that's no big deal. So I am going to paint this entire thing with one coat of the vintage linen. And then you'll see me seal both of these things with the DIY liquid patina. Because DIY paint reactivates when wet, I want to seal it in first before I go and apply any medium to glue this onto the cover. So I'm grabbing my soft gel and I am going to apply the soft gel onto the cover of the book, and then I'm going to press this paper on, and then you'll see me seal on top of it as well, and that will just create a nice sort of a block and a tooth for whatever it is that I'm going to put on top. And so now I am going to do the exact same thing, the exact same process for the back of the book. So because I did both the front and the back separately, I have, the middle of the book where it opens, the binding is really ragged right now. So I need to find something that is going to carry this theme, and it's going to look good in the middle of the book on both sides. So you can see I grab a thing full of washi tape, and I'm just exploring now, trying to figure out something that will look really good. And this is kind of my favorite part in the process of creation, is the exploration of it all, never knowing how it's going to turn out and just figuring it as I go. So I wasn't finding anything in my little collection of washi tape, so I pulled out some vintage textiles, and I'm just kind of, auditioning and seeing what might look good. And I actually come up with this really, really cool textured piece of like mesh paper, and so that is what I decide to go with. Okay, so I am just kind of fitting this on. I'm enjoying the whole piece of this meshy paper. I don't even know what else to call it, on the entire back of this little journal. So that's what I decide to do, and I am going to grab my soft gel again, and I'm going to apply it pretty thickly to get this to stick. So first things first, I am going to cut it out a little bit, and then I'm going to apply my gel. So I am putting a thick coat of gel on the book first, and then I am pulling my mesh fairly tight on top of it, and then I am just going to really press the brush down pretty hard in order to get the mesh to stick to the gel. And you can see I'm applying a lot. It's very, very thick, but that is what it takes to get this to stick. So I'm going to just keep applying really, really thick, and then you'll see me take my finger and press down, and I'm kind of getting the excess gel out, and at the same time pressing the paper down really hard. And then I will dry this with my heat tool. Remembering that this is a meshy paper, don't get the heat tool too close because you will burn this. I've done it before. Okay, so I have this other paper which is really thin, but when you apply it, it actually kind of sinks in, and I just felt like I needed a little bit more texture on this, a little bit of a difference or a change so that the eye can move around the composition a little bit more instead of staying stuck. So it kind of disappears for a minute as I am brushing it on with the soft gel, but you'll see when I dry it, it kind of pops back out. So this right now is just a discovery process of not only adding contrast, but then I want to add repetitions so that the eye doesn't get stuck. So you'll see me apply this in a number of different places. So I was just digging through my transfers and I found this bird that has kind of the same color theme, and I think it's absolutely perfect. So I'm just kind of auditioning where I want it to go, making sure that I have a really nice balance, and then I am going to transfer it on. I wanted to bring this bird as more of a focal point, so I found this chipboard frame that I really like, and I found the words "Brave Girl," which I just think is so perfect. But I need a little bit more of this textured paper, and thank God I had some. This was like my last little piece, and I really think it's perfect where I put it. So I am going to put that on with the soft gel, and then you will see me glue on the words "Brave Girl" with my Yoo-Hoo onto the frame. And then after that, I am going to glue the frame with some Eileen's tacky glue. And then I'm setting 3 heavy books on top of it and letting it dry. And I actually let that dry overnight. I'm so happy with how this turned out. I love all the different textures, and I am absolutely in love with that bird in the frame. So I really hope that this helps you be a little bit more brave about your layering and to use unconventional things to create your art journals with. I love to use art journaling as an outlet for relaxation and stress relief. But I also love being a transformational creative business coach. So join me on Mondays and Wednesdays for the Creative Business Mindset podcast, where I will help you not only build the business that you've always wanted to build, but change your mindset so that you can embody that business owner right now. And don't forget to join me next week Friday for another Art Journaling Fridays, where I use my 30 years of mixed media art experience to create lots and lots of different layered and textured art journaling spreads. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next week.